Ciao ragazzi, I'm Roberta from Pasta Evangelists, and today we are making gnocchi. So the ingredient, guys, we have red potatoes. I prefer to use the red quality potatoes because they contain less water. Then we got eggs, salt, and 0 flour, but you can also use all-purpose flour. Let's start. So guys, let's start with the potatoes. We need to cook the potatoes first. So make sure that you don't break the skin, which it will absorb more water. So I place the potatoes, we add the room temperature water, and we leave it to cook about 20-25 minutes, but it all depends how large are the potato. I would say probably don't go over 45 minutes as the skin will break and the potato will absorb more water. So now the potatoes are ready. We are going to clean and remove the skin. As I say, it's always better when the potato skin is not breaked, so we have no water absorbed, and this is going to result in a better gnocchi. Now that the potatoes are peeled and ready to make the gnocchi, we start to place the flour. You can use a flat surface. You can also grab a large plate, which you can mix all the ingredients together. I'm using the potato riser. If you don't have it, you can also just grab a fork and break each potatoes, but make sure that it's nice and fluffy, so the consistency of your gnocchi will be perfect. So as you can see, it's very nice and fluffy when you use a potato riser. Make sure that you clean it every time you have finished with one potato, and then you can go for more until you complete. So fantastico, now let's add 1 egg. I leave a little bit of space. And then also I will add just a pinch of salt to give a taste. And now we are ready to mix. Don't be afraid, you can do it with your hand. And you mix all together until it's formed into a dough. So now I have kneaded the dough for a few minutes. Make sure you don't over knead the dough for the gnocchi. More time you touch the dough, more flour you need to add it, as it's getting very sticky. And if it does, you can simply add just a little bit of flour around, and you leave it on the table. Now we can shape. So I will simply leave it on the table. If you think it's a little bit too hot and too dry in the room, you can always add a tea cloth to cover the dough. Otherwise, it's very simple and very easy to get through the shape, so you don't need to worry too much. So I have shaped it in a kind of long snake, and I will take, let's say, I will start with a quarter of the dough and starting into rolling into nice and long snake. It's, I will say, it all depends how you prefer the gnocchi, if you wanna more larger gnocchi or gnocchetti, so smaller gnocchi. So I will more or less leave the gnocchi about 1 centimeter thick. And now that I'm ready to simply cut it through. Now, I have a pasta cutter or scraper, which it takes really a couple of seconds to getting through the shape. You can actually do just with a knife. You don't have to worry if you don't have a lot of tools around the kitchen. And once you have created your first gnocchi, you leave it to rest on the table. You can also add a little bit of extra flour just to don't get it all stick together. And you can carry on. Let me show you as well in case you want to speed with the process of shape the gnocchi. So you can actually do all the snake first, and once you roll it the first, you can go and do it with the second until you basically complete all the dough. This is a very much easy and quicker to cut the gnocchi through, as we are going to use both that we have just created, and both together. I will just add a little bit of flour, as I say, to don't get the gnocchi too stick together, but make sure that you don't add too much flour, otherwise when you cook the gnocchi you will taste the flour, and you're going to simply cut it through. So I'm going to shape the gnocchi with a tool which is called gnocchi board. I'm going to take a little piece of gnocchi, place on the board, and drag it down. Don't press too much, otherwise the gnocchi will be stick to the board. And if it does, if you think it's a little bit too soft, you simply have to add a little bit of flour. Don't worry, as long as you add a dust of flour, it's absolutely fine. Just remember, for gnocchi, you don't want to add a lot of flour, otherwise it will be just too dry when you're going to eat. And you carry on shaping all the gnocchi, then you leave on a wooden surface so they can dry. And let me tell you, in case you don't have a gnocchi board, you can simply grab a fork. That's how Nonna, she will do in Italy. She will use the back of the fork and she will simply shape it. And you can literally see they are also really, really cute. So you drag it down and you leave it to the board. So ragazzi, gnocchi are ready. It's simply going to be cooked on a hot boiling water. Easy to understand when they are ready. About a couple of minutes they will start to float, and then you can mix with your favorite sauce. Now, my suggestion of sauce today will be caprese, called also sorrentina, which is a nice fresh tomato sauce and basil. Then once you have mixed together, you put it in a tray, you sprinkle a lot of fresh mozzarella, place in the oven until the mozzarella is nice and melted, and buon appetito. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to learn more about pasta and sauces.